To advertise, or if you have a small business and you're looking to drive traffic to your store, check out ESPN 104.3 with Coach James Hale Show. I've been working with them for 7 years. They've driven a lot of traffic to my business. I get people all the time in my store that say, hey, I've heard you on the radio. It's one thing to advertise on the radio where people may hear it. It's another thing to be able to come on, talk to your customers directly. It's just one of the best form of advertisements I did, and I've gotten great returns off of it. So if you're looking for some form of advertisement to drive traffic, check out Coach Hale Show on ESPN. Contact Coach Hale, and he'll hook you up and get you started in the right direction and get you a lot more business.
Get results for your business. Call ESPN Northwest Florida. 850-215-4468. 850-215-4468.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Stand by. On my mark.
You survived the workday. Now survive the truth.
Don't you want to have the best 12 teams in college football playing each other?
It's time for the hardest hitting 2 hours on the Panhandle.
I love it. You're coming through. You got it, baby.
Now into the huddle with Paul Wilson on the Sports Blitz.
It is a joyous day.
I love your show.
From the Emerald Coast to the edge of the atmosphere.
You gentlemen lift us up every day.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
What it do, people? It's the homie Lil Cash. Right now you tuned in with Paul Wilson on the Sports Blitz. 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. The hottest sports show in the South. Let's go. Cause Lil Cash with another hit with Paul Wilson on the Sports Blitz. Where they talk trash and they talk ish. When it comes to sports, man, they too legit. It's 104.3 ESPN. If you love sports, better chime in. NFL, college, local sports, they got it. NBA, they got it. Sports Blitz, the topic. The show hottest was sabi. Better tune in and go watch it. Hey, Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. If you even tried, you can't stop it. Bone Crusher gon' pop it. No Jeff gon' pop it. Go like, comment, subscribe, and share right now.
Welcome to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here on this beautiful Thursday in Panama City Beach at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, your spot for the Atlanta Braves. Don't forget, tomorrow night, the Braves battle the Indians, but they're the Guardians. Friday, 6:15, first pitch. Don't forget, you can call in, text in on the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. We are pumped up and ready to go for this Thursday. Don't forget also that today's microphone is sponsored by Humbert Diesel and Auto Repair, 1504 County Road 390, Lynn Haven, Florida. The phone number is 850-630-0766. They take care of all matters concerning diesel auto repair. They can help you in other areas, but diesel mechanical is their repertoire. So just go see those guys over there at 1504 County Road 390 in Lynn Haven. Ty and them will take great care of you and treat you better than your mother. That's what they said. So either way, go see them there. As always on a Thursday, but awesome, we've got our friend Alan Watson of Golf Plus in the building. Alan, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's glad to be back. I had a little minor surgery on Tuesday, so I was out for a day or so and just kind of feeling a little groggy and weird, but I'm back now. Been at work all day and glad to be here on the show today.
Well, we're glad to have you. And coming back from world traveling, Jeffrey is back in the building. He texted me today and told me that he was in town. And, I felt the warmth coming into Panama City Beach whenever you texted me. I was like, you know what? It feels like Jeff's back. Jeffrey, we're glad you're back.
Was it chilly while I was gone?
It was chilly while you were gone. Yes, you brought the warmth.
I almost didn't make it. You know why?
Tell us.
Alabama.
You wanted to stop at a gas station and eat barbecue and get an Alabama shirt.
No, actually, for the first time ever, I stopped at the Buc-ee's in Long Beach, Mississippi, and it's a smaller one than the one in Gulf Shores area, Baldwin Parkway. But Alabama is so smart. Let me tell you how smart Alabama is.
They are. Tell us.
I get into Alabama, and they reduce down to one lane for 10 miles.
Yeah.
Ooh, I-10 is, for 10 miles, is one lane in the middle of the day.
Mm-hmm. Are they doing some work or something?
Oh, yeah. It's construction.
Oh, okay. I was about to say. That's not normal.
I go through Mobile. I get to the other side. I'm about to enter Florida. Construction. I-10's reduced down to one lane again. It's a trap. Your Mobile people are trapped. You can't get out of state.
That's right. They only got to keep you there.
It's just the most traveled interstate in the whole state of Alabama.
Yes.
Because I'm pretty sure 20 and whatever.
65.
65 is pretty traveled, but I-10 connects the second biggest population state, Texas, to the third biggest population state, Florida.
That's correct.
And they're going to reduce it down to one lane on both ends of the state.
They care about your safety. They want you driving slow. They don't want you driving fast. They know all these people are going to spring break, and they do not want them to get in a hurry because the beach is going to wait on you.
They don't want them coming to Florida. They want them to stay in Gulf Shores and Orange Beach.
That's true.
Yeah.
As always, on a Thursday, we got the Crusher of Bones in the building. Bone Crusher, how are you today?
I just want to welcome Jeff back from his tour of library museums across.
Yes.
I did not go to any museums, by the way, and I
Yeah.
thought about it.
Yeah,
because
I
I
knew
got
you
an
did.
advertisement for one.
I know.
It was in New Orleans.
I know. We figured. We were going to wonder if you saw any construction, new construction buildings, and you could give us the. But thankfully, you'll do that on another day.
Spare you. Is there there's a golf museum right on the other side of Florida? It's like the.
Well, if you're thinking about St. Augustine and near Ponte Vedra, where PGA used to be, there was the World Golf Hall of Fame.
Yes.
I believe they shut it down and moved it to Texas with the rest of the PGA because
Yeah,
PGA
I think
headquarters
so.
moved from Ponte Vedra to Texas. They built this amazing, huge, massive building, and so I'm pretty sure it moved.
But we have like how many golf courses in Florida? It's a ridiculous,
lot.
stupid
A
amount.
bunch of them.
We have like triple any other state.
Well, that's just
can I
part of
say?
it. But you know what? Since our guy is here and we know the most recognized tournament in the world is going on right now, the Masters. Tell us a little bit about the Masters. Tell us what you think and give us a little bit of a summary of what's going on. Now, before you do that, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
This Masters is definitely pushed to the side just a little bit before the start due to what we talked about the last time, which was Tiger. Tiger
Yes.
getting involved in the wreck, having the DUI, all of the stuff that we've talked about. Now, obviously, we don't want that to overshadow the tournament, but it did at the beginning because not only him, but Mickelson, they were looking forward to those two playing, and now they're not. Was it hurt really at all with Tiger having his situation and then Phil not playing?
Probably so, especially television ratings and all that stuff, maybe a little bit. But honestly, if you're a big fan of golf, you're a fan of the Masters.
You're
It's
watching.
the number one watch tournament anyway. We've got some other sort of elder statesmen that are taking over for where Mickelson and Tiger would be in terms of some of the older crowd that might be watching, like Freddie Couples is playing really well. But really, I mean, this is just a big tournament. This is the official kickoff of the golf season, even though it's been going on for a while. This is the time of year where the weather starts to get good pretty much everywhere, so everybody's actually getting out to go play. And we've got a leaderboard chock full of the guys who you want to see, McIlroy, Scheffler, and Patrick Reed was leading earlier, and he's a former Green Jacket winner himself. So this is going to be an interesting tournament. No Tiger, no Phil, as you mentioned, and that's a bummer. But at the same time, you know, were they really going to contend at 51 and 53 years old or 55 years old, respectively? No, they weren't going to contend probably anyway. But it makes for an interesting storyline. I think what would be interesting would be to find out who got in because of them not being there, who got their spots, or did they just not bother with those spots? Because in some tournaments you have a lot of golf tournaments, you know, you sort of have like a list of on deck guys waiting, 3 or 4, they call them alternates, you know. But in the Masters, because you have to qualify, because there's certain qualifications that get you in, it's possible, and especially Tiger was only getting in because he was a former winner, and Mickelson probably the same because he's with Liv now. So they don't have world golf ranking points. They haven't won any tournaments in the last couple of years that would have gotten them in, other than the fact that they were former winners. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if anybody else was the beneficiary of them not coming, and then let's see what they do in the tournament, right?
What about the guys that are like really old, like that still play and still want to go out there. Do they curb that a little bit? Do they keep them from coming at a certain age? Because there's times where you would think that these older guys would be like, hey, I'm still capable. I'm still able to get out there and possibly, if not make the cut, be close to it and let people – because that's the biggest thing. Wouldn't you say that that's the biggest thing that happens? And, Jeff, you can chime in too, that's the biggest thing that happens to athletes, especially people that are up front and in person, when they are no longer the person. I've told the story here, and it's worth telling again. I had met one of the Charles Haley, a Super Bowl Hall of Famer, and I just walked up to him and said, "Are you Charles Haley?" Because he's distinctive. I remember him. I cheered for him. And he said, "Yeah, I am." And I said, "Man, I remember you. I remember your career. That was fantastic." And after he was done doing the things that he's done, he came up to me with a hat signed from him, and it said, I think it was 7-time Super Bowl champ or 6-time Super Bowl champ, whatever it was. And he gave it to me, and I'll never forget these words. He said, "Thank you for remembering me." So realistically, these guys that are older like that, they're forgotten. And they're used to being in the limelight. They're used to being, because outside of the golf, the true golf fan that you were talking about earlier, they don't, you say a name, they may not know them. I mean, yes, if you watched, golf anytime in the 80s and you Freddie Couples, you know that name. Or Tom Watson, you know that name, maybe. But the thing is like some of these guys, after maybe they started their family or maybe they were in college, maybe they didn't watch it anymore, they don't know who they are. And so that's the question. Who do they curb it for the really older guys that can't really do it anymore?
So there was a consideration a few years ago that they were going to cut it off at 65. So because the longstanding rule was if you've won the Masters, you can play until you decide you don't want to play anymore, even if you go out there and shoot 115. And that was what was happening. Some of these guys were still trying to play
it was really
at 76 years old.
Wow.
The golf course is playing 7,500 yards, and they're out there shooting 1 million. And so they thought about it. They even asked a couple of the guys, like, please don't come, because you're just taking a spot that doesn't need to be there. But they have decided to kind of make it a gentleman's rule of just like you decide when you're done. And so someone like Tiger, assuming he's healthy, he could play for another 10, 15 years if he wanted to. Mickelson could play for another 10 plus years. Obviously, there's a point where you just don't hit it far enough to make it worthwhile, or you don't have the health or the strength to be able to walk all the rounds and all that.
Or John Daly, you're too drunk.
If you're too, absolutely. But there's a lot of guys. I mean, you're right. A lot of golfers wouldn't get recognized in a grocery store if they stripped naked and ran around. I mean, people would just be like, "Who's that guy?"
The streak.
They wouldn't know, because golfers are not. It's weird that we can remember a guy who wore a helmet for his entire career and couldn't see his face hardly, but yet we don't know a guy who's under a hat for all these years. It's just like you said, the true golf fans. I mean, there's so many great players in this generation, but they won't be remembered beyond golf fanatics. They won't be, a Gary Woodland's an amazing player, but 10 years from now, if he's not playing golf anymore, he'll be able to walk in anywhere he wants to, and nobody will know him, and he'll have sort of anonymity even though he's famous. Whereas like a Rory McIlroy or a Tiger, those guys, obviously, they have transcended a little bit the way some other sports stars do. But yeah, as far as the actual rules of the game go for the Masters, these guys can keep showing up and keep trying to play as long as they want.
Yeah, I can probably only recognize 2 of them, and you know who they are that are active other than obviously Tiger and Mickelson. It's Rory and
Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah. Scotty Scheffler. DeChambeau shows up.
You wouldn't know who he
totally
was.
would not. I'd be like, maybe he looks familiar, but I wouldn't peg him.
And that's the thing. He's heavy on social media,
YouTube,
all those guys.
Totally wouldn't recognize him.
Yeah, and I mean, when you think of like Jordan Spieth, those, him.
Oh yeah, Jordan Spieth's young.
Jason Day, I would know him.
I would know
Justin Thomas that played at
Justin
Alabama.
Thomas.
Now this guy Kitayama, I had to look him up to find out who he was, and then I figured out,
Yeah, but you could trip over him in a shopping mall and you wouldn't know who he was.
Yeah,
you wouldn't know
but he
he's a
doesn't look
professional
like anybody else.
No.
Even though he's
No, he
from
doesn't.
California.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and so looking at the leaderboard, when you look at it right now, obviously they've already started, and seeing McElroy at the top, does that give you any indication that, you know, that this guy's going to be dialed in? Is there a possibility that, you know, do they normally, for the non-golf fan, do they normally start out hot and stay hot? Is there times where that happens, or is it always a drop off on the first day?
It's difficult because a golf tournament is 4 rounds, and so you have sometimes with tournaments you'll have preferential weather. Maybe you tee off early, and then maybe later in the day when guys are teeing off, the weather turns bad or whatever. That happens at the British Open a lot, but doesn't happen as much here. McIlroy is the returning champion. And so for him to be on the top of the leaderboard after day one, in some regards, you would say that's no surprise because he just won it last year and he's one of the top golfers in the world. But then at the same time, you would say, think of the pressure that to put on yourself to come back and repeat. So will he still be number one in 4 days? We'll see. You know, will he have a drop-off day? That's generally what happens to a lot of these players. We think of players like Justin Thomas and some of these other guys where we say, gosh, that guy's great for 2 rounds or he's great for 3 rounds, but he has a hard time putting 4 great rounds together. So I think with as many players as you have under par right now, and with the way the course seems to be playing, pretty benign for the Masters, pretty normal wind, normal ground conditions. In other words, nothing's gone off the rails yet. No heavy rains, no crazy wind. It's playing pretty normal. So these are kind of as good a conditions as you can get. So if he can get the lead on day one or even be tied for the lead on day one, coming back as the returning champion, that takes a lot of pressure off him in round 2. Versus having to come back from 5 down. Right. So if you're one of the best players in the world and somebody hands you the lead, where else would you rather be?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I like his chances, but Scheffler's only a couple back. Justin Rose is only a couple back. I mean, the early rounds are over. So like DeChambeau's already in the clubhouse. A lot of the guys that people wanted to see. There was a lot of even par-ish kind of stuff going on. As long as the lead doesn't stretch much more than 4 or 5 away from the middle of the pack, you'll have a really interesting tournament.
What do you think the number's going to be for the cut? What do you think the cut will be? Because it'll be early.
Yeah, probably somewhere around even par. The way it's looking, it's going to depend on the weather. If the weather stays good and everybody can go lower, it'll stretch. But if the weather gets bad and everybody comes back together, I think they said, I'm trying to remember the stat I heard earlier.
They're showing 31 right now. He's a +1. So if par, that guy's not making it, you have 30 people. That's a really low number.
It's 70 in ties generally makes the cut, right? Isn't that right? So
so it might be a +2.
It might be a +1 or 2 then.
Yeah,
it might be a little bit. It's just going to depend on how bad the bad scores were, how screwed the curve is, right? Because I haven't seen. Let me click over and see the whole leaderboard. Let's see like how bad is bad.
Because when you always are looking for that, you're like watching somebody and you're like, gosh, can you really make it up? And then, you know, you kind of gives you that number, and then you start seeing these guys as they get closer and closer to that number. They want to make it. They want to be out there because it means more money in their pocket, obviously, just to finish. But realistically, when they start having a bad day, sometimes they just they put their clubs up and go home.
Well, let's be honest. A -3 sometimes will get you the lead by yourself after day one, or maybe a -4. We got 2 guys at -5, and then we got 4 people sitting on hole 12 right now that could possibly catch it.
Yeah,
we could have 4 people at -5. That's a great day. I don't know how the winds are.
Yeah.
It doesn't look bad at all out there. So yeah, I think it's going to be interesting, and I think a lot of it's just going to come down to they're going to flip the tee times tomorrow, obviously. So your early guys will, you know, assuming that the weather is still good. You know, it seems like scoring conditions are better in the afternoon today, but that's not necessarily true throughout the whole. Again, I'm having trouble pulling up the full leaderboard. I'm only seeing the top 10 right now, so that's not really helping me. But
let me ask you this. You talk about having 4 rounds. That's 4 days. How much really does it go to your training with your legs? Because obviously they can't ride a golf cart. They've got to walk. And I know it's just walking. But how physically draining is it for a golfer? Number one, you're having to get up there, use your legs to hit the ball on all of your. I mean, you're even when you're putting, you're using your legs. You're staying through the ball and all that. But how does that affect them? Have we ever seen it where it really affected them? Like they really were just absolutely gassed by the time they got to that final day?
I mean, if you were having some health issues, maybe some sickness, I've seen some guys where they had a stomach bug or something, then it's going to affect them, especially at Augusta, just because you're in the mountains, really hilly golf course. It's not like you're playing a flat golf course in South Florida or somewhere like that. So it could definitely affect you then. Otherwise, though, these guys are in great shape. They all have trainers. They all work out. They all stay in great shape because they do have to walk. They walk their practice rounds. They walk their regular rounds.
Wow.
I mean, these guys are walking all the time. Now, is walking the most strenuous exercise in the world? No. But if you make your living on your feet and you don't have the option, like you said, you don't have the cart option, so you kind of it's like you either can or you can't.
Yeah.
There is no, and like we've said 1,000 times about golfers is there's no substitutes. Like, this is not wrestling. I can't tag in my partner.
No.
This is not football. I don't have 20-something guys, 30 guys on the sidelines that can sub in for me.
Yeah.
This is not baseball. We can't call the relief pitcher. This is golf. You're either playing or you're not.
Yeah,
so
and if
you
you
get
think
sick
about
or hurt, you're done.
And you think about your own job, maybe where at the airport when you're there. I mean, yeah, you're out and about, but you can go sit down sometimes. You know what I mean? You got an opportunity when you're at your shop. When you're doing. If you want to go over there and take a break, you can go sit down for a moment. These guys, they're walking and they're waiting, and you wonder, you see them, they'll lean on their golf club or they'll lean on something that'll kind of take the pressure off, because as well as I do, especially in the terrain, but also the effects of weather. And can you change your shoes if they get wet during the game?
Yeah, they can change their shoes, although I've never seen anybody do that. They can change their shoes. The only thing they can't change is their equipment unless something is damaged, and then they still have to get an official to approve that and all that. But yeah, they could, if for some reason they got extremely wet, if somebody could bring them more clothes or whatever, they could change that. That's not really considered the equipment that's like the official legal use kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, I just saw one of the guys, you were talking about leaning on something. I just saw one of the guys a minute ago leaning up against one of the stone walls while he was waiting on one of the guys in his threesome to hit a shot, and he was just leaning, and he was taking it, and he was young. I mean, he was like a 25-year-old, right? I mean, he was young. So sometimes you got to take your rest when you can get it.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, this is such a breathtaking, exciting golf tournament for these guys. It means so much to them that, yeah, you could get your heart rate a little up, you could get a little amped up, and you could work yourself into more of a physical state than you might in a normal event. I mean, even though that sounds ridiculous to the passerby, but I mean, think about how a football game, the Super Bowl is still a football game, and yet I guarantee you those guys are a little more amped when that game starts versus any other game of the season, right? Because it just means so much in that moment.
Yeah.
And this is practically the Super Bowl for golf. So, yeah, I mean, I think there's something to that. But I think most of these guys, you can just look at them and tell most of them are in pretty great shape.
Yeah.
So it started at 10 a.m., correct? The first people?
Somewhere right around 9 or 10.
So they do it in less than 4 hours.
They're supposed to do it in about 4. It may take 4.5, depending on.
That's not that bad.
Yeah.
I mean, and I know you're standing up the whole time.
But then you have to come back tomorrow to do it again. And you got to come back tomorrow and do it
The
again.
third day is where psychologically you're like, okay, I'm in this. I've got to regenerate. I got to get a good night's sleep. I got to hang in there.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying, when you're at work, you probably don't stay on your feet for 4 hours.
So you're saying you want a park bench in the shade at Augusta
That's right.
for you.
That's right. If I'm
in
playing,
memoriam of
we're having
Paul.
a seat. Yeah, we're having a seat. But we're going to go ahead and take our first break. When we come back, we're going to continue our talk with Alan Watson from Golf Plus right here at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Keep the game going with ESPN Northwest Florida. Just because you get out of the car doesn't mean the sports talk and live play-by-play have to end. Just say, hey Alexa, open ESPN Northwest Florida. From Michigan Avenue to the Man Cave, from the car to the kitchen, we've got you covered. Keep the game going. Hey, Alexa, open ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Anna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Thursday afternoon. The rest of the day, mostly sunshine and 77 with a moderate breeze out of the east-northeast around 13 miles per hour. For tonight, clear skies with a moderate breeze and a low near 61. Tomorrow, a wind out of the east 8 to 12 miles per hour, sunny and a high around 78. For Saturday, sunshine and a high of 78. This weather forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
For over 50 years, Coin & Boyan Reserve's fine jewelry has been your diamond headquarters, a local trusted source for diamonds and fine jewelry. And now, get ready for our largest diamond jewelry sale ever, 30 to 75% off. For one day only, Saturday, April 25th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. When our doors open, diamonds move fast. Don't miss out. Coin & Boyan Reserve's fine jewelry, your diamond headquarters on the corner of 15th Street and East Avenue.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs, with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5, and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Atlanta Braves play here.
It's just a little crush.
3-2 pitch in the air towards the gap in right center field. Sprinting back, Trout over his head. That's over the yellow line and a homer.
And tomorrow night, the Atlanta Braves face the Cleveland Guardians. The Braves send rookie pitcher Hurston Waldrop to the mound, and we'll have live coverage from Truist starting at 6. First pitch, 6:15.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Your put-downs, smackdowns, and shutdowns.
That's the difference between a winning football team and a losing football team.
It's a Trash Talk Thursday on the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
We are back live and local right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. This is the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson, and we're so glad that you joined us today. Don't forget, Atlanta Braves baseball tomorrow night as they take on the Guardians at 6:15. The Braves will be with us all Saturday and Sunday, 5 o'clock on both days, and the first pitch will be 6:15, so you can tune in right here if you're running around, hanging out in PCB, maybe doing some shopping or doing some running around at the beach. So either way, we are here with Alan Watson of Golf Plus, and Jeffrey's here with us. Bone Crusher's here. Alan, how's the shop going? I know that it's a busy time, and you've got a nice-looking golf shirt on there. It doesn't say anything, but it implies the Masters.
Yeah, I got this at Augusta a few years ago. So, the shop's been going busy. My son said to me today, right before I left to come here, he was like, I think I've regripped everybody in Bay County's clubs today because so many people brought in clubs. But we haven't gotten everybody. So if you need your clubs regripped or if you need something fixed, bring it on by the shop. This is definitely a busy time of the year for us because of spring break, because of just the weather changing, because of people getting geared up for the season. And then the Masters does, add a little bit of, some excitement and gets people thinking about it. So maybe the guys who are not, they're not playing week in and week out, but then they go like, oh, yeah, it's time to gear up. So we do get a little busier. We've gotten a lot of new product in lately, and not a lot of new headwear, new belts, absolutely gorgeous new belts in. And
Jeffrey needs a belt today, so we got to get him one of those ostrich belts.
Yes, the ostrich belt. We have some green ones for the Masters. We have some other colors as well. But you can never look like you can look bad in a bad belt. But you can never look bad if you have a really nice belt.
They don't make them in purple, though, do they? They don't. I told you they don't. I know they don't.
I don't think I don't have purple. No.
Yeah, of course not.
No.
Why would you? Nobody wears purple.
Well, usually they're yellow with purple stitching.
No.
We did get a custom lab putter in today that was a bright purple color that really popped. It was really nice. So we get a lot of fun colored like hats and but not
Yeah.
belts. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
But yeah, if you don't have a belt, come by the shop.
That's right. He doesn't, so he needs one. Why do they do the Masters now? Why is it like now? Why don't they wait until the middle of the year? Why don't they wait until after they've been playing for a while? It seems like it's like having, like you called it, the Super Bowl. You know, it would be like having the Super Bowl in the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Like, why do they do it right now?
Because the flowers are blooming, the dogwoods are blooming, the camellias, all the beautiful flowers at Augusta are perfect this time of year, and so it coincides generally with right around Easter, so they try to do it kind of similar to that. So it's all about the weather, it's all about the visuals, it's all about that. And even though it is like the Super Bowl, you're right, and even though it's juxtaposed as the first major of the year, it's also, to a lot of people, the most important one. So I think you're kind of onto something. It's like, shouldn't it be the last one?
Yeah.
Shouldn't it be? But honestly, they couldn't do this in October. It just wouldn't be as pretty over there. And so this is when it's always been for the most part.
And Jeffrey's a world traveler. He's the one that goes on a lot of the trips. He does all the sightseeing and all of that. So when you said that, he started shaking his head like, yeah, that makes perfect sense to him.
Well, I thought
and that's
exactly what he said. I was actually thinking of the month October.
Yeah.
I was like, you can't do it in November, December. It's too cold.
Right.
But October, you still have the chill in the air.
Right.
You're far up enough. It's not really North Georgia. It's sort of like northeast, East Georgia, you know, because they have the lakes right there, the river. I don't know if you know this, but there's a North Augusta, South Carolina.
No.
Across the lakes right there. And, I mean, it gets chilly up in that area. We're blessed down here.
Yeah, we are. Now, let me just say this about all this, though, because it's really because it kind of makes you wonder. These guys have to really get ready way sooner, and it almost like, because I always talk about my son playing travel ball, and when you play in Florida, a lot of these coaches will almost play all year round because the weather allows it. And so with that being said, it's not healthy. You need breaks. You need to take off. But it's like you need to be in tip-top playing ready so that you can have a chance to win this green jacket in April, because the season, when's the last tournament that matters?
Like October, towards really September, the FedEx Cup, and yeah, I mean, I think these guys would rather be healthy early and then get – this Dr. Pepper's killing me, by the way. And I love Dr. Pepper, but it's killing me.
Buffalo Rock is a sponsor, for
Buffalo
sure.
Rock.
Appreciate you.
Thanks for my belching today. Appreciate that. It's really helping. But seriously, I think they'd rather be healthy early, and I think you're right. I mean, like when we see an athlete get hurt and they say, oh, when's he going to come back? Is he going to make the playoffs? Is he going to come back for, next season, even if it's a major injury? I think if you asked a golfer, would you rather get hurt in January or would you rather get hurt in like September? It's like they'd rather get hurt late in the year and be ready for the beginning of the season, because this is when the weather is right. This is when you're feeling good. And yeah, these guys can take breaks. Sometimes you'll hear a guy, he'll have won 3 or 4 tournaments in a row, and then he'll skip a tournament, and somebody's like, "What? You're on a hot streak?" And it's like, yeah, but dude, I'm exhausted.
Of course.
Because if you're not missing cuts, then you're not getting time off.
Yeah.
So you're playing all those practice rounds and all those tournament rounds, and so if you're playing well, you're just grinding, and so then there's no break. One thing that's interesting about Augusta is they literally shut the course down from late May to mid-October. Nobody plays, even the members. They don't play it during the hottest months of the year, so that they can then keep it in good shape through the winter and the spring to get ready for the Masters.
Wow.
So it's kind of interesting that the course isn't even open year-round.
That's
crazy. One of the reasons why we can't do the tournament later is the course isn't even open.
That's
but
crazy.
Again, it's not as pretty. It's like,
so it's all about what it looks like.
Visual.
I mean, we are visual people. We're going to go and go to the call and text line. We've got Chef Ross on the line. Nice. Ross, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing good, guys. How are you?
Doing fantastic. What's going on, buddy?
So I was reading this morning about Bryson DeChambeau using irons that he created on a 3D printer. Were they allowed?
Yes. Yeah. As long as they conform to the USGA rules and have been approved, you can use whatever you want. You could go melt down your grandfather's coin collection and put it in a mold and make a golf club out of it, and as long as the USGA approves it and it's on the list, then but every club has to be approved. It has to be on the list. So like basically the patents have to be turned in, the models, the molds, everything, and they have approved. So that's why like we get spy photos of certain stuff at certain times of the year, because that gets released and we go, oh, so and so like Ping is, you know, introducing a new driver or whatever. We find out about it because the USGA approves it.
Wow.
And so yeah, to answer your question, Ross, I mean, anything that he's using would have to be legal, otherwise he just can't do it. But he is trying to develop his own golf clubs because the company that he's been working with is great, but he wants to kind of do his own thing. And then like the Shaft company that he's been working with, there's talks that company may be going out of business. So I think he's trying to sort of button up his own stuff so that he doesn't have to rely on other people. But he's such a unique golfer that whatever he uses is not something that normal human beings should be fooling with anyway.
Right.
It's so out the norm. You know, that would be like saying I'm going to train and have my diet be like these strongman guys. It's like that's such a niche.
Yeah.
And he's such a niche person in terms of golf. You'd be much better off to look at a more normal Justin Rose or Jordan Spieth or whatever.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah.
But he is developing his own stuff.
Didn't he try to like redevelop the golf ball a couple years ago too, or do something with the golf ball?
You know, I'm not sure about that. That might be true. There is still talk about rolling back the golf ball. The USGA and the R&A are talking about that. Gary Player, who's one of the greatest champions that golf's ever known from South Africa, recently said that he thinks they should roll back the golf ball 60 yards worth off the driver for the pros only, not for amateur golfers.
Wow.
But the problem is the golf courses are so long, if they do that, they're going to have to reinvent the wheel again. So if you fix one thing, you have to fix something else, right?
Yeah, that'll affect the scores for sure. 60 more yards.
Yeah, that's a little much.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, Ross, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you being on. You know,
he was bitten at the chomp to talk about the Brewers.
Yeah, no, thank you.
They had a good dust-up the other day, too.
All right. That's funny.
All
right, buddy. Thank you so much.
Yep.
But, you know, as far as when you're talking about the Masters, how it's all set up, how it's going, those are just all the questions that I've always wanted to know. And then when you look at the leaderboard, you got Burns there, you know,
Rose
and some of these guys that you would know if you watch golf, but a lot of these guys are trying to get, you know, number one, they're wanting to win, but number two, it's a new thing. Or it's another level. If you win a green jacket, it's it. You're done for your life. You can you know, that club, yes, it grows every year, but man, that is like one of the most prestigious clubs to be a part of. And you know, you can just like Super Bowl champ, you can always put that behind your name. And because there's no other tournament that has a jacket, right? It's the only one with the jacket.
It's the only one that really matters with a jacket. There is in Hilton Head they give away a plaid jacket for that tournament for the RBC Heritage, but this is the one, like you said, it doesn't guarantee that you'll be in the Hall of Fame, but it guarantees that you'll always be introduced as Masters winner, you know, whatever. So it is definitely the one. I mean, if you said to every college golfer right now who has aspirations of turning pro, like, which tournament, if you only win one in your pro career, which one do you want? Nobody's going to be like, oh, I want to win the Texas Valero Open.
Right.
Like, nobody's going to say that.
No.
They're going to say, you know, we want the green jacket, the Masters. Maybe if they're from overseas, they might want to win the Open Championship, or if they're just a true purist of golf, they might want to win the U.S. Open. But no, you know, the Masters is the tournament that you grow up watching. It has all the aura, it has all the magic, and it just means more really than any other tournament of the year.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. Like, it's the most recognized, it's the most watched, it's the most everything. And you've got, you know, and we talked about this before coming on air, you've got Jason Kelsey coming over and covering it. You've got Pat McAfee trying to get there to cover it. And, you know, as fans of the golf game, these guys that are a little bit more flamboyant in the ESPN, you know, bullpen that you would send. It's getting a little bit of backlash. Jason Kelce, some people are like, maybe he should stick to football and doing other stuff and maybe not come to the Masters. And as well as Pat McAfee, because, McAfee's crazy. He might come out there with no shoes on or no socks on or something crazy. Or, who knows? He might try to do a backflip into the water. I mean, that's just the big thing.
What's next, Adam Sandler? Happy Gilmore?
Yeah. I mean, what do you think about that, though? Because, when these guys, they're a part of the new culture. They're new to the I say they're new, but I mean they've got a following, and they're trying to open up their followers to the game of golf, and because not everybody watches golf. Some people call it boring. Some people say, hey, I'd rather be there than to watch it on TV. I mean it's tough.
It is tough. It is a hard sport to watch. I mean it's kind of, for the uninitiated, it looks a little bit like bowling. It looks like the same thing over and over and over again. That's where it definitely differs from football or basketball or baseball, where it seems like every second or every minute something's going a little differently. Golf can look very boring and monotonous to the uninitiated. And even for those of us who've been watching it, I mean, I've been watching golf my whole life. There's times when you just think like, man, show me somebody else, show me something else, whatever. When Tiger was at his peak, people would always complain that he would get more television coverage even if he wasn't playing well than the leaders. But to your point about Kelce and McAfee and all this, if it brings new fans to the game, I say bring it on. But there definitely is some tradition and some decorum that you want people to respect. And so if you bring in these new people, and if the broadcasting is too flamboyant or it's not in keeping with Masters type traditions, then they obviously won't let that happen ever again. And there's definitely a lot of rules that Augusta has that other tournaments don't have. But I mean, we could use a little more Happy Gilmore in golf. We could use a little more, to your point, Jeff, we could use a little more fun. And it just, because it's such a quiet sport and because it's such a, moves sort of slowly, there's a lot of time to fill. So then you kind of have to have these commentators. But do they have to be that guy, though?
Well, you can't even wear your hat on backwards. You got to wear it frontwards. Your hat's got to be front facing. So, I mean, Jeffrey, you showing up without a belt, you out, bud. You got to go. You got to go to the gate and buy you an ostrich belt. But I'm just saying.
You have to wear socks.
Yeah, you got to wear socks. You got to brush your hair. You got to brush your teeth. You got to wear your hat forward. There's all these rules for the Augusta.
And when you were saying earlier about aging out, it made me think of Jimmy Connors for tennis. Because do you remember when he was like over the hill and everything, and he won a few sets against like ranked people? He was getting so energized and everything, and the crowd went crazy. And it was like not like your normal tennis crowd, because your normal tennis crowd is just doing this number, right?
Oh my
and
gosh.
staying quiet, and they got like all loud because he was like trying to hype up the crowd.
Yeah,
he was entertaining.
Well, you can't.
It was like an injection into the.
But like to your point, you can't bring you can't have your cell phone with you.
No, they kicked Mark Calcavecchia out of there yesterday. And he's a former champion himself, but they told him to pack his bags and go because he took a cell phone out there, and you're not supposed to have a cell phone on. And Augusta, they have to have their rules and they have to enforce them, otherwise they don't mean anything. And so
Now, what was it was the par 3 thing.
Right, Wednesday's the par 3 contest. That's right. So you had Kevin Hart there caddying for Bryson DeChambeau. So you had some new age. Usually people use their kids, but Bryson doesn't have kids, so he brought Kevin Hart.
He looks like a kid. He looks like a kid.
So
I'd have The Rock doing it.
Yeah, that would be that would be great. I mean, I think that golf is never going to evolve in the ways that some sports have. It's always going to be about tradition for the most part, and that's okay. And if you don't like it for that very reason, then that's okay too, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not like we're going to, Liv has tried that with their tour with, okay, you can wear shorts, and okay, you can have loud music playing, and okay, we're going to have concerts, and we're going to have all this fun. And that, I think there was an energy that they brought to it that we needed in golf, but you're not going to get that at Augusta.
Right.
You might get it somewhere else. You're just not going to get it there.
Yeah, understandable. So we're going to take our next break. When we come back, we're going to discuss some things, and then we've got Big Nate on the line waiting patiently. Curious to see what he's going to say today. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Mornings Blitz on ESPN Northwest Florida just got unsportsmanlike.
The only reason why Lamar Jackson would sign a long-term deal this offseason is because the Ravens made him an offer that he couldn't refuse. If you're Lamar, you could potentially get a monster deal after contracts are opened up with the rookie class of 2024. That's why this is a delicate situation.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle. Weekdays 5 to 7 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Full residential and commercial projects from start to finish. Wheelhouse is ready to help. From the moment you have the thought to build to the moment you step through the front door of your finished project, Wheelhouse Consulting and Engineering will walk you through all of your aspirations. Engineering, site plans, live architectural design, construction, 3D rendering, permits, and more. Wheelhouse Consulting and Engineering, 850-896-6597, 850-896-6597, and online at wheelhousedba.com.
Business professionals looking for a private room or office space? Whether you're a local or in town for work or relaxation, you need a flexible office workspace. Rent a fully featured office space by the hour, day, or week, as flexible as you are. Fully loaded with all the tools you'll need in a comfortable corporate atmosphere. Smoker friendly, free parking. Meet your client here in downtown Panama City. Call 850-771-1326. 850-771-1326.
The new Sports Blitz.
Oh, yes!
Rants, hot takes, and huge reactions are incoming on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. We are live and local right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, your spot for Atlanta Braves baseball. Don't forget, tomorrow night the Braves play the Guardians, 6:15, right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. If you want to be a part of the show, you can be. 850-215-6290 is the phone and the text line. We will read those and say those things that you want to say right here. Speaking of the line, we're going to go ahead and go to Big Nate. He's been waiting impatiently. Nate, how are you today, my friend?
I'm doing fine. How's the Sports Blitz going today, Paul?
We are doing fantastic as always.
Awesome, awesome. Well, are you ready for the Blitz?
I hear you. Yeah, give it to me.
All right, well, here it comes. Fast and Furious. I don't agree with the facts that I heard that somebody said that Augusta should give Donald Trump a commemorative green jacket. He should have to earn that somehow. I got a problem with Augusta from way back. It took him 80 years to let even a woman play on the course. But, you know, that's over and done with now, so good on them. They're finally going into the modern era. So you talk tradition and you talk all this other stuff about golf. And I love the sport of golf, but I can't watch it unless I watch a program like Stick on Apple Plus.
Yeah.
With Owen Wilson. I love that show. I don't know why I love it, but I love watching that show. It's funny, it's captivating, but you still get the golf element that I like so much. But it's just enough to make it happy for me. So, going to actually what I want to talk about. I'm going to blitz you with some quarterback knowledge, okay?
All right.
I want to let you know that I found out something that was very interesting. That of all the first-round picks that teams have made that want to win Super Bowls or have won Super Bowls, only 20 out of 22 quarterbacks that have played in the Super Bowl and won have come from the first round.
Yep. That is a big-time deal.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Tom Brady, Russell Wilson. There's several other really prominent quarterbacks that didn't come out of the first round that have made it to the NFL's big game. A lot of the time that we look at, first-rounders are highly touted. They have a great rookie season, and then their sophomore, they might come back and a little bit slumped off. But a lot of the teams where they're making the mistakes, and you know this from us discussing it before, is they spend too much money at the quarterback position, and they don't have enough personnel to support them. Bengals, Cleveland, pretty much everybody in the NFC North, aside from, the Steelers. They had Roethlisberger for, 20 years or something? Or
it seemed like
I don't know how many years he played, but he was there for a long time. But now you got Lamar Jackson, okay? making the effort, it looks like, came to the volunteer sessions, is now with the team, trying to build that team up around him because they know that he's the focus. 2-time MVP, has trouble winning the big game. But why does he have trouble winning the big game? It's not all on him. It's a team sport. So I don't know where they're letting down. Was it coaching? We're going to find out. Got a new coach, right? Defense? Well, you lost your defensive coach to us, the Seahawks, but they've been doing pretty good on defense. So it's going to be interesting to see. And all I want to know is that who is going to be, I mean, I'm looking at Andy Dalton, honestly, as being the next big star to come out of nowhere that was a first-rounder that has redeemed himself somehow.
Oh, wow. That's a big take. Let me unwrap some of this stuff for you. So let's start out with the first part and talk about the first-round draft picks. You do realize that the reason why these guys are getting drafted in the first round is because their team was bad before they got there. And then they bring this kid in that it doesn't play the same most of the time. That's why they get the first round. Yes, it is.
Not true.
Every time
everyone has a pick in the first round. They could go late in the first round.
Well, are you talking first round picks,
First round.
or are you talking very first pick?
No, he's not talking
period.
about first pick.
When you're talking about usually your first round draft pick quarterbacks, it's usually
Those
not
are the bad teams.
Bad.
Yeah,
it's not the back
if it's
end.
the first pick.
No, I'm saying it's usually not the back end of the first round. If you were to
Well,
look at it, you would see
of the
it.
20 that were the first-round picks that I talked about, only 7 were the number 1 pick.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but still, you've got people like Patrick Mahomes. He wasn't drafted first. You know, you've got people like Matthew Stafford. He wasn't drafted first. You know, those kind of guys. But what I'm saying is most of the time, the guys that are getting picked in the first 5, 6, 7 picks are usually on the 5th or 7th pick worst teams in the NFL. And they haven't learned how to build around them because they're trying to secure this guy for a long time. So that's my take on that.
And they don't even really know how to play at the NFL level yet. I mean, I'm looking at Mendoza going, this poor kid. I'm so glad they brought in Kirk Cousins because at least they have somebody to help model him after.
All of these guys.
Kirk Cousins to me is a success.
Yeah, all of these guys that have had someone mentor them before, and when I say mentor them, just if that kid comes in, and I know we're calling them kids, they're 23, 24 now, but they're young men, they have to learn from those guys on their own. They can't expect them, because it's not a part of your job. You know, and Kirk Cousins, he's going to say the right things, but he knows as well as everybody else. And by the way, the Raiders probably promised him he's going to be the starter for at least the first half of the season coming in like that. But I'm just saying, if Mendoza will learn how to read the playbook, he will learn from Kirk Cousins, then yeah, it's the same type of thing that Patrick Mahomes did with Alex Smith. He learned the pro game. You know, Roethlisberger, he's one of the rare individuals that came in as a rookie, played as a rookie, and stayed as a rookie that didn't have bad seasons early like, say, Manning did. Manning had bad seasons because he didn't have anybody to teach him. I mean, I think Jim Harbaugh was the starter of the Colts team whenever he first came in the league, and Jim wasn't there to help Peyton. He was there to help Jim. And so that's usually what those guys do. And so when you have that perfect situation where they come in and they're able to learn from somebody that knows the professional game, you're exactly right. The Raiders did a great thing by bringing Kirk Cousins in. I think that's a wonderful deal for Mendoza if he's going to be successful. Look, you don't never know. I mean, how many of these guys have we brought in from the college ranks that looked the part, said the part, were over 6'2", that I always like, and just can't play. They can't do it. Ryan Leaf, think about him. He was the prototypical everything. Didn't make it.
One of the quarterbacks that a lot of people don't like talking about because the team he plays on, but has been a very dominant quarterback, and that's Dak Prescott.
Yeah,
and he wasn't a first rounder.
No, and that's the thing.
So I mean, there's really no formula to it. I think you hit on certain things when you get the right person in the right situation. But what really galls me is you got these programs who see all the wrong things that other people are doing, but yet they keep doing the same stuff.
Yes.
Over and over and over. And it's just, why? I mean, they talk about the Browns and all their statistics. When I heard that kind of stuff they were talking about on that report, like they were giving quarterbacks, like veteran quarterbacks, like tests to do.
Yeah.
And the veterans are like, nope, I'm not coming here.
No.
I'm not going to take a test. I mean, come on.
Well, and
It's ridiculous.
if they give you a test like they gave Jamarcus Russell and you fail that, then that ought to tell you all you need to know about that. You know, they gave him the book.
Jamarcus Russell needed to just put down the ham hocks. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. So.
And the purple drink. Oops, did I say that out loud?
Man, Mad Dog 2020, baby. It do you in every time.
But, yeah, let me say this about Lamar Jackson, just so you know, too. You know, for me, Lamar Jackson, yes, you build a team around him. Yes, they brought in Derrick Henry. Yes, they've always had a decent defense, if not one of the top defenses every year. The thing is that I'm sorry, but you can't throw the ball to the other team, and you can't put the ball on the carpet all the time when you're running all these scrambles. And so for him, it's amazing to see what a coaching change does, because I remember John Harbaugh standing in front of everybody and telling everybody, he is a quarterback. He is not a quarterback or a running back that can throw. He is an actual quarterback. And he fought for him, and he fought for him, and he fought for him. And Lamar seemed to every year just kind of not be serious about playing football. And it came to pass. And then, unfortunately for Harbaugh, they let him go. And then they kept Lamar.
That's fortunate, actually. I think that's fortunate for him.
Maybe for him, yeah. It's probably going to work out for him over
there.
He's probably
going to go, and he's got Dart there. He's going to revitalize the Giants, which scares me in the NFC, because now who's going to win the East? You got Eagles. You got Giants that are potentially going to be able to turn things around fairly quickly, I believe, under the helm of Harbaugh. And then you've got Dallas, which they're looking pretty tough again. I mean, and then you got Washington, which you never know what you're going to get with Washington nowadays. It's just, oh, man.
Well, the biggest talk.
Good. I'm just saying that.
The biggest talk for that conference, though, is going to be, is the Eagles going to kill themselves? Are they going to fall off the cliff? Because they're teeter-tottering right now. Here we are, 2 years removed from the Super Bowl.
People's faces on the first play.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
But, I mean, let's just be honest, though. The big deal with that team is in the quarterback and the head coach position. Those are the two where they're teeter-tottering. Who knows what's going to happen with A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni. Honestly, those are the big deals.
Come in just like they've always done, and it's going to fail, honestly. If they don't change something, they are going to fail.
They own that division. And instead of talking about the Chiefs who've completely falling off, you have more trust in the Chiefs than you do the Eagles, and that's Alabama quarterback, let's be honest. He's not Oklahoma quarterback.
Well, Nate, we sure do appreciate the call, my friend. We're almost against the break.
Put your trust in the Alabama quarterback.
Thank you so much, Nate. We appreciate you. Well, right before we go, I know you got to leave. Give us your pick for the Masters. I'm curious to hear who you think's going to win, and give us the hours and the location of the shop.
Yeah, no worries. I'm obviously McIlroy's at the top right now, but Scheffler's only a few back. So right now you got to give the edge to the experience that Scheffler has. He's won the jacket before. He's only a couple back. So I think Scheffler's definitely in the driver's seat right now. Hate to bet against Rory, but I just don't know if he can do two in a row. That's going to be kind of tough. The shop is at the corner of Front Beach and R. Jackson. We're at the shops at Edgewater next to Firefly, or if you know where Rocket Lanes is, we're right there. And we're 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, 10 to 4 on Saturday, closed on Sundays. For everything you need for golf, fitting, repairs, retail, that's what we do.
Yeah, so go see those guys. They know exactly what to do. They know they can fix a bad swing too, I believe it. And they'll let you hit some balls in their simulator and figure it out. And me and Jeffrey, we need to go over there and hit some balls one day and figure out who's got the best swing. But either way, we appreciate you, Alan. Thanks for coming in. When we come back, we are going to talk about some football, some Alabama football, and some other things football related. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Rich Eisen Show.
National Soccer Hall of Famer Landon Donovan.
You think you could save a penalty kick off me?
Well,
now we're talking.
No, probably not.
0 chance. 0.
What about me scoring one on a top-notch keeper?
I thought you meant on me. No, no chance.
No chance. Well, they got to jump one way.
No,
they always jump.
No, not with you. They would wait.
The Rich Eisen Show. Weekdays 11 to 2. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening, this is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your forecast on this Thursday. Clear skies tonight with a moderate breeze around 13 miles per hour coming out of the east, and look for the low to be 61. Tomorrow morning, there will be sunshine with the temperature reaching 73. Mostly sunny in the afternoon and evening with a wind around 10 miles per hour and a high of 78. Saturday will have a high of 78 and sunshine. This weather is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Discover the new Kia. Stop by Bill Bird Kia today and test drive the all-new 2026 Kia, where comfort, safety, and technology come together like never before. Explore the new 2026 SUV family that moves you and drive away in a new 2026 Seltos, Sportage, or Sorento that are built to inspire every journey. Craving performance? Feel the thrill in the luxurious 2026 Kia K5 sedan, crafted for power, style, and you. And for innovation that sparks excitement, check out the 2026 all-electric Kia EV9, a modern masterpiece that's fast-charging, rugged, and roomy. Bill Bird Kia is the original 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. It's the peace of mind that you can trust. Visit us at 2435 East 15th Street, Panama City, or online at BillBirdKia.PanamaCity.com. Bill Bird Kia, your local community dealer. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for details.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. John. ESPN Northwest Florida. ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Atlanta Braves play here.
It's just a little crush.
3-2 pitch in the air towards the gap in right center field. Sprinting back, Trout over his head. That's over the yellow line and a homer.
And tomorrow night, the Atlanta Braves face the Cleveland Guardians. The Braves send rookie pitcher Hurston Waldrop to the mound, and we'll have live coverage from Truist starting at 6. First pitch, 6:15.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Your favorite team is garbage.
Dallas? I don't want you going to Dallas at all.
And we're here to explain why.
That place is crawling with crackheads and debutantes, and half of them play for the Cowboys.
It's time to take out the trash on the Sports Blitz on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
What it do, people? It's the homie Lil Cash. Right now you tuned in with Paul Wilson on the Sports Blitz. 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. The hottest sports show in the South. Let's go. Cause Lil Cash with another hit with Paul Wilson on the Sports Blitz. Where they talk trash and they talk ish. When it comes to sports, man, they too legit. It's 104.3 ESPN. If you love sports, better chime in. NFL, college, local sports, they got it. NBA, they got it. Sports Blitz, the topic. The show hottest wasabi. Better tune in and go watch it. Hey, Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. If you even tried, you can't stop it. Bone Crusher gon' pop it. No Jeff gon' pop it. Go like, comment, subscribe, and share right now.
It's 5 o'clock and it's Thursday. You got one more day, baby, until the weekend. And we are so glad you've joined us right here at the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. Your spot for the Atlanta Braves. Don't forget the Braves play tomorrow night against the Cleveland Guardians. 6:15 is the first pitch right after the show. And if you want to be a part of this show, you can be 850-215-6290, the Red 70s phone line. We are pumped up and ready to go. Jeffrey, we've got to make our picks because we don't want to get too far. I know that you're going to pick whoever's in the lead.
No.
You're going to pick whoever's in charge or whoever's favored. Nope. We know you're going to pick.
Oh, he just moved up.
Yeah,
oh, boy.
That's who you're
going
with.
That's who my pick is right there.
Okay.
No, but I had him.
He's going with a foreigner. Go ahead.
I'm going with Justin Rose.
Okay, yep. All right.
And you're going Reed?
Yeah, I'm going Reed. My son's name's Reed. We're going with the Reed. And he's 3 under right now. Rose is 4 under right now. So, you know what? Give me Reed, and
give me Rose.
we'll see. So
we're not going McElroy or Scheffler or Spieth.
No.
Those are the main 3 names that we, are
yeah,
familiar with.
I mean, yeah, but I don't, for me, that's who I'm going with. I'm going with Reed.
Now, what's interesting is Rory doesn't claim Great Britain or United Kingdom. He says Northern Ireland. It's not a country. It's a part of the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
It's weird because the other guys, that are regular Ireland, that's a country. Northern Ireland is controlled by the United Kingdom. It's kind of weird. Yeah, I'm from the East Coast. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, I'm
you're
from
like
Alabama.
a part of a country.
Yeah.
I'm from Alabama.
Yeah, not the United States.
Paul Wilson, Alabama.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm here for the Masters.
That's right. I'm here. But yeah, that is kind of weird. But
so let's lock in our picks.
Yep, I'm going.
Does Bone Crusher have a pick?
Bone Crusher he's like, he don't even know, what are we playing? He thought he was
Pinochle, pickleball.
But so with the Masters, I don't know if you know this or not, but the winner for the prior year gets to pick the menu. And Rory McIlroy's menu dinner for all of the guys to eat, $318 was his meal. That's how much it cost. Someone on the text line told us that.
I thought he was picking the meal for everybody. Y'all eating shepherd's pie tonight.
No.
That'd be cool.
No. So, I mean, there's etiquette. There's things that they do. That's just how it's set up.
Yeah.
And
I like him.
Yeah.
I like him. He made a joke, and it was something along the lines of Irish people drinking.
Yeah.
He really is kind of a normal guy.
I'm not a big fan.
No?
No, I'm not a big fan. So we had the March Madness Bracket Challenge, and I'm glad that you're back early. So we're going to talk about that. Obviously, Michigan won it. I picked Michigan. You picked Arizona. And this year we did it just based off of the actual wins. So however many wins is how we did it. Next year we might do some bonus rounds. If you pick the Final Four, if you pick the Final Two, and if you pick the Final, maybe you get a couple of more points. Maybe we'll end load it, kind of like what they do with the ESPN.
Maybe do all ones, and then we get to getting to the Final Four.
It might be 2, 3, 4 or something.
And then 3.
Yeah,
okay,
so it might be something a little bit more to give you a benefit. Because, like for me, for example, this year I didn't win.
But you picked the winner.
But I picked the winner. So I probably would have been a lot higher because I picked the winner rather than,
And then there was somebody who was complaining. He's like, I picked 3 out of the 4, Final Fours, which is actually for this year.
Is really hard to do.
Was really hard to do. Illinois, I mean, there was like 2 people who picked them for the Final Four, and that was it.
So who do you think, was the surprise of the year for the whole basketball season? With
for the whole basketball season?
I mean, and
not tournament then.
But then you got to include the tournament. The tournament is a part of the basketball season.
True,
so
but this is including the regular season.
Yeah, so
I'll
let you go ahead.
I mean, I want to pick it for each conference, really.
Well, I mean, you can, but I'm just going to pick one.
You're just going to pick one?
Yeah.
I'm going to say Nebraska. Nebraska's the one that I did not see on this. When they started at 20-0, I did not see Nebraska being even in the mix at all. And that was surprising. Never won a tournament game. Won 2 tournament games this year.
Yeah.
I mean, that was straight up crazy. That was the biggest surprise of the whole basketball season. If we're just talking just tournament, it's Illinois.
Yeah, and I think Illinois, because of how they played all year long, how they did it, Illinois does have a rich basketball history. They've had some really good teams, really good players, really good coaches, all of that. But to me, the season was Illinois. I just with them, the way they were a number 3 seed, which is one of the highest they've had in a long time.
Top 12 in the nation.
Yeah. And then to go to the Final Four, and I'm just like, wow. These guys, and to lose the way they did to UConn, whatever. But I'm just saying, it was a really, really, really good year for Illinois.
Yeah.
Who was the most disappointing year?
You're going to make me get some haters out here, aren't you?
Yes. Yes, I am.
You know, Florida had a great year.
Yeah, they did.
They had a great year. They only lost 6 games. They won the SEC. There was no everybody was playing for second after that.
Right.
You had 4 teams basically playing for second. Maybe 5 if you count Texas A&M.
And we said that Florida was the only team that had a shot to even get to the Final Four.
We did. But they did exactly what I said that they would do. They were not going to win the SEC tournament. I had them losing versus Vandy. That's what they did. I got some hate. Then they turned around. They were really hating me because I said they weren't getting to the Final Four. Did I have them losing in the second round? No. Did I have them losing in the 4th round? Yes. They weren't going to get to the Final Four. They did exactly what I said that they would do. Is it a disappointment? Yes, it is a disappointment. North Carolina losing in the first round? That's a huge disappointment. This is a marquee team. That's a blue blood right there.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. But that's the only one I could even mention in the name of Florida because they're defending national champs, and there was talk about the repeat.
Yeah.
You know? And they were a 1 seed.
I think North Carolina was the most disappointed team. Yes, their star player got hurt. He got injured. I get it. But that's part of the game. Everybody had some injuries. Everybody had to deal with stuff. And you know what, though? It was so bad, they got rid of their coach. Now, Mike Malone is going to be their new coach. And, you know, Roy Williams gave his blessing because Hubert Davis was his guy. Hubert Davis was who he all but hand-selected, and he just couldn't get it done. And do you like the pick of Mike Malone going there? Do you think this guy, because it's been a long time since he's been there in the college game.
2000.
He's been very effective. He was a really good coach with the Nuggets. They haven't won it since he's been gone.
Yeah.
So what do you think about Mike Malone being there? And do you think he deserves to be the 5th highest coach paid in all of college basketball to come there to coach the Tar Heels?
Yes, I do.
Why, though? Why?
I like the talk that he says he's just going to bring the winning attitude, the winning everything that he has from the NBA. Going from professional ranks to amateur ranks, it's kind of unusual. I know he was in the college 26 years ago. That's an eternity ago. It's not even the same sport practically.
Yeah.
All the players are I mean, you have all the transfer portals happening and everything. And by the way, I have breaking news on the portal. Did you hear about it?
Yes. But go ahead.
Well, okay, so it's a Tennessee player.
Yes, JP Estrella.
Yeah,
yes,
Estrella.
sir.
Averaged 10.0 points per game.
6'11", 240 pounds, committed to
Michigan.
Wow.
Now, the star player for Tennessee said, I'm coming back because there's a job undone. And he said that this morning.
Wow.
And then one of his teammates leaves.
Yeah.
And it's like, that kind of...
He's ranked the 20th overall prospect in the whole transfer portal. Is it crazy now that we talk about the transfer portal more than possibly that we talk about the recruiting? Because really when you look at how it's set up, it's really not about the high school kids anymore. It's about the transfer portal.
Yeah.
Now, we had a caller yesterday who was talking about baseball. His son is a freshman in college playing at a Division I school, and he said that his son said to him, Dad, these guys that I'm competing against to get on the field are 23, 24 years old. He said 2 of my teammates are married, and he's 19. Some of these kids being 18 and 19. Are we seeing a shift in college sports? Is it going to continue? Is this what it's going to be? Now, I will say this. I did read, and I'm going to read this for everybody so that we can understand what is kind of being talked about. The NCAA is exploring significant changes to its eligibility rules. Next week, an NCAA committee will be discussing a new age-based standard for athlete eligibility that would grant athletes 5 full years of eligibility from the time of their 19th birthday or their high school graduation. No waiver requests, no red shirts, or exceptions will be permitted, except for a small group of outliers, those on military leave, maternity leave, or religious missions. So like your BYU guys that go on the mission field and all of that. So with that being said, now you are a big standard against what Trump did. You were a big standard against what Trump did. You know what? And we shoot straight lace at this show. And I'm not political. We're not going to talk about if you're a Republican, if you're a Democrat, if you're a libertarian or a no-patarian or whatever, right? We don't care. Or vegetarian. Who cares? Whatever I eat meat, you don't. Who cares? We can still talk sports. But listen to me very carefully. You said, and you and Bone Crusher both, y'all were really tough on the president. You said you're dipping in the wrong Kool-Aid. You shouldn't be there. You shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be doing that. But I was the only one that said, if this kind of helps us get to somewhere, because somebody's got to do something. And now it seems like it's working, because in next week, they're going to be discussing whether or not you're going to get 5 years of eligibility or not once you hit the 19th age of your birthday and or your graduation year. So realistically, this has speeded us up a little bit, pushed us to at least their meeting. Don't you think something has to be done? Because realistically, we are seeing it, and we're seeing it on a level that we've never seen it before. 24, 25-year-old athletes, grown men are really shifting the pendulum to winning national championships. The older people win the championships in college. This year, it happened. It happened with Indiana, and it happened with Michigan. So I'm just saying, this is good for the sport. This is what we got to do. But my gosh, I'm thankful that they're going to do it. Are you?
Yes, but I think that one visit to the portal is not enough, because these coaches and athletic departments lie to people who are young, and they're gullible, and they believe what they're told, and it isn't in writing that they sign, and then they're kind of like stuck because they can use the portal once, I think 2 times, and then you cut them off.
I'm not so worried about the portal. Yes, I think there should be a limit. I don't think you should just keep going. But if you only have 5 years, it's just like Dylan Raiola. He goes to Oregon, figures out that he's going to have to compete for the backup, that it's not automatically given to him. Now he's probably going to get back in the portal and go somewhere else. Well, that's your second time. You're done. You can't go anymore. If we set it up to where you only have 1 or 2, then you know what? You're going to have to learn how to compete. You're going to learn how to make sure you're picking the right place that you're going to. So that's really where we are. We're going to go ahead and go to the phone line. We got Stone Cold Brian Austin on the phone line from the Lone Star Ballhouse. How you doing today, Brian?
Man, busy. Give those dudes 10 years in college, man. Come on.
No, we can't do it.
Dude, I'm joking. No.
Well, listen, let me tell you something. I know everybody's been wondering where you've been, but just I'm letting everybody know right now, for all the people to understand, whenever Brian gets paid from all of these people making all of this money, we're going to have to back the flatbed truck up and dump all the money that he's making over there at the Lone Star Ballhouse. Y'all been packed, y'all been filling it up, and the crawfish are boiling as we speak.
Yeah, and the John Daly's are flowing today. So.
You said John Daly's at the Lone Star Ballhouse? Is that what you just said?
We have a sighting.
I'm a guy with John Daly's. I probably already poured out 50 of them today. So yeah.
Oh man,
you need to find out what he drinks and make it a special.
Oh man.
I don't think there's anything John Daly don't drink.
Really?
No, that's true. Oh man.
So, are you insulted that we did not pick Texas as being the surprise team of the year?
No.
So the expectations is raised a little bit compared to other teams, like Illinois. We kind of thought maybe Texas would be in the kind of running. Of course, the regular season didn't go the way we thought it would, but Illinois just came out of nowhere. And I picked Nebraska because this is not a basketball school.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. But, I mean, Texas, that's our one sport that we don't expect anything out of, too.
I mean, look at the basketball. The women's basketball did really well, too.
They did. Their basketball program is about to turn around, though. They'll be really good next year. We did lose Swain, apparently, to the draft, but, yeah, that kind of hurts. But we'll see.
So let me ask you this. This weekend, starting, you've got Texas and Texas A&M playing baseball. You're going to have that on the TVs around the Lone Star Ballhouse, correct?
100%.
So what do you think about that? There's going to be some bad blood, former coach being over at A&M. How's that going to play into all of this?
Man, I don't know. Like, I'm so excited about that. That atmosphere is going to be absolutely electric. I mean, they're selling tickets to the regular season baseball games for up to $1,500 for that game.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So Texas is 9-3, I think, in second in the in the SEC.
Yeah.
This is killer.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be a big one. Tell us what's going on, what you got on the menu for this weekend and for all the people that are listening.
So crawfish as always, but being Masters weekend, we have a smoked jalapeno and crawfish pimento cheese dip going down.
Wow.
With $5 John Daly's during the tournament all weekend long, too. So.
Wow. And you got other stuff on your menu, correct, for the people that don't necessarily love this?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've got one table out here that's already spent $1,000 on crab, shrimp, crawfish, everything today.
Wow. That's fantastic. And I heard this, I don't know if this is true or not, but you're taking on the Masters rule etiquette for the restaurant this weekend. So no hats on backwards, no shirts off. Everybody's got to keep their shirts on, and you got to have a belt. So Jeffrey's got to go home and get a belt if he's going to come to the Lone Star Bullhouse tonight.
And y'all wouldn't believe it right now. I'm in a Callaway golf shirt, shorts, shirt tucked in, belt on, golf hat on, white shoes on. I've somehow stayed clean cooking crawfish today, too. But, yeah.
3 beers later, we know what's going to happen.
Well, Brian, we appreciate you coming on, man. We're bumped up against the break. Thanks for calling, and we've been missing you, and we're glad that you were able to call. And once it slows down a little bit, you got a seat here at the table.
All right, brother. Y'all be good, guys.
Yes, sir. Brian from the Lone Star Bullhouse. Go see those guys over there. They will take care of you. They got all kinds of specials like he was talking about. If you don't like that style of food, they've got other things on their menu as well that you'll enjoy. They're cooking to serve, and they are great. It's a great atmosphere. You want to look at all of the games that are going to be on, the Masters, all of that's going to be on all of the TVs, the largest Jumbotron in Panama City.
Pulled pork sandwich is great.
Yeah, you love that.
They got the brisket sandwich, and they got brisket queso.
Yeah,
so if you don't do seafood, boom, there
it is. So it's a great place.
Drink, order the Paul and Jeff.
That's right, the Paul and Jeff. It's a lemonade with Tito's vodka. There you go. So go ahead and go over there. I'll take the lemonade. Jeff takes the vodka. But either way, we're going to take our next break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit of Alabama spring football. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Coach James Hale Show.
Well,
they suck, man.
Yeah, you won't hear us cheering for each other and chanting Big Ten when Michigan wins.
Go Big Ten, man. No way. We want to lose, bro. We're not all SEC kumbaya crap.
The worst thing for an Ohio fan is to watch Michigan play Notre Dame. Can both lose? Can both teams lose?
Exactly. When Ohio State and Notre Dame play, can they both lose the game?
Yeah.
Weekday morning 7 to 9. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening, this is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your forecast on this Thursday. Clear skies tonight with a moderate breeze around 13 miles per hour coming out of the east, and look for the low to be 61. Tomorrow morning, there will be sunshine with the temperature reaching 73. Mostly sunny in the afternoon and evening with a wind around 10 miles per hour and a high of 78. Saturday will have a high of 78 and sunshine. This weather is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
With over 4 decades in business, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to take your collection to the next level. All new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia and supplies, new and vintage cards and Pokemon. Buy, sell, and trade. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards inside the Stanford Station on 23rd Street next to Academy Sports. Come see the bigger store and the larger inventory, or visit online, InstantReplaySportsCards.com.
Looking for a new way to explore Bay County? Or maybe your trusty bike needs a tune-up?
Head to Steve's Bike Shop. They've got a huge selection of new and used bicycles, plus the latest electric bikes to get you where you need to go fast. And if your bike is acting up, their expert technicians repair all makes and models, even electric bikes. Serving Bay County for 46 years. Steve's Bike Shop, 1924 West 23rd Street, right across from Sam's. Steve's Bike Shop. Your ride starts here.
This is where heroes are created, legends are born, and dynasties forged. The Sports Talk Monster, ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to the Sports Blitz.
Welcome back. We are live right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson, your home for the Atlanta Braves. Don't forget, tomorrow night the Braves take on the Cleveland Guardians. First pitch is right after the show, 6:15. Don't forget, if you want to be a part of the show, you can be 850-215-6290. And also, don't forget, the microphone sponsor today is Humbert Diesel and Auto Repair, 1504 County Road 390 in Lynn Haven. The phone number is 850-630-0766. If you have questions about your diesel, you need to call those guys. They know exactly what to do. All of the things that you have to do for diesel repair is totally different than when you're dealing with the gassers. So make sure that you call Humbert Diesel and Auto Repair, 850-630-0766. They will definitely take care of you and probably give you a discount if you mention the show. So either way, go see those guys. Ty and those guys are doing a great job, great work over there at Humbert Diesel and Auto Repair. We're going to the phone line now. We are joined with Wyatt Fulton from the Tide 100.9. Wyatt, how are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing good, man. I appreciate you for having me on.
Yes, sir. We are going to talk a little bit about the Alabama football team. We've got a lot of Alabama fans over here in this side of town. And I'll tell you this, it seems like the excitement is starting to grow a little bit more. Obviously, making the playoff last year, but having the bad playoff experience was not great for the Tide. What are they looking like? What is it sounding like over there in Tuscaloosa?
Well, the pads are popping. They're getting pretty physical in practice. Things got a little chippy earlier today as they were making final preparations for A-Day. Nothing terrible or anything like that. Just they're excited, right? Because you're getting close to this spring scrimmage here. But the quarterbacks have had really sharp days. For the most part, this last scrimmage on Friday maybe wasn't the best scrimmage that these quarterbacks have had, but that's because they're going up against a secondary that consists of, Keon Sabb, Bray Hubbard, Dejon Lee, Xavier Brown, all guys that, from what guys I've talked with in the scouting world, they say, hey, those are probably all, top 100 picks in the NFL draft. So really, really good ironing, sharpening iron there when you look at quarterbacks versus the secondary here in spring ball.
So when you talk about it, everybody, last year having the loss at the beginning of the year to Florida State, that was something that was huge. You had a lot of the fans that were getting a little bit impatient. And how do you feel like this spring everybody's kind of, obviously we lost in the playoff, but how do you feel like everybody is kind of standing behind this coaching staff when you listen to the, the sounding boards and the fans when they're around?
I think, your rational side of the fan base, which here in Tuscaloosa may be the more quiet side of the fan base, but the rational side of the fan base has been, look, this is kind of what we expected, a little bit up and down, maybe a little too inconsistent. Obviously, you've got the highs of beating Georgia, walking into Athens and snapping that win streak, and then the lows of getting, blown out in Norman, Oklahoma, losing to Florida State week 1, getting embarrassed in 2 of your last 3 games of the year here. So I think consistency is what a lot of the fan base is maybe hunting for here. Obviously you're not going to go 12-0 every single year, but if you go out and do lose a game, lose it the way you lost the Oklahoma game in Tuscaloosa, where it's a competitive matchup. It's back and forth, and then you just so happen to come out on the wrong side of the ball there, instead of getting some of these blowout losses to teams that you are very clearly more talented than when you look at a squad like Florida State earlier in the year. So I think consistency has been a big key this spring here for Alabama, not just obviously at the coaching level, but also with the offensive line as well, because there were points last year where that offensive line looked really, really good in pass blocking, but they couldn't open a running lane to save their life. So consistency has been a big sticking point this spring, and it seems like they're trending in the right direction. Still got a long ways to go before September 5th against East Carolina, but the trend is they're heading in the right direction.
Are the offensive line, are they seeming like they're solidified? Because you hear reports and you hear things, but then you don't really know. Does it seem like they've got a consistency group that they're going to be able to start the year off with, and it's not going to be a platoon? Because I was talking to someone yesterday from Florida. They're still trying to kind of figure out their offensive line. They're moving some key pieces here and there. Is Alabama moving key pieces, or do they have, the guys there ready to go?
They're still searching for their best 5, which is completely understandable. They replaced 11 players out of this offensive line room from a season ago, and 6 out of your top 7 guys that took reps last season. So you're still kind of shuffling around, seeing where guys fit the best, but we can kind of pencil in some starters for Alabama already. Remember, day 3 of spring ball, Ryan Grubb, the offensive coordinator, comes out and says, hey, Jackson Lloyd, that's our starting left tackle. So, all right, let's pencil in Jackson Lloyd at left tackle. Michael Carroll, the big 5-star from down there in Florida, he's going to be your starter at some spot. Now, they've been playing him at right tackle and right guard, but he's going to take one of those spots. So pencil him in as a starter. In that same interview where Ryan Grubb named Jackson Lloyd the starter, he said, hey, Rayson Delgatti, the Cal Poly transfer center, has kind of taken the bull by the horns at that center spot. So you've got about 3 starters penciled in. Michael Carroll's kind of a little up in the air just because you don't know exactly where he's going to play. But, you've seen Mississippi State transfer Javen James take reps at that right tackle spot. And so really your big battle right now is at that left guard spot between Ole Miss transfer Ethan Field, Texas transfer Nick Brooks, a little bit of Ty Haywood and Caden Strayhorn getting some work there, Mal Waldrop, a holdover from last year's roster. But even if those guys are your starters on A-Day, keep in mind William Sanders, who was kind of Alabama's de facto backup left guard last season, he's been out all spring with an injury. So if we get to fall camp, he's going to be in the mix there as well. So I think you can probably pencil in 3 starters for Alabama with Jackson Lloyd at left tackle, Rayson Delgatti at center, and then Michael Carroll. And then from there, it's still a little bit up in the air, just kind of trying to mesh and see, all right, who are our best 5, and then where can we put our best 5 in the best position to succeed?
We're talking with Ryan Fulton of the Tide 100.9. Let me ask you this, Wyatt. When you talk about Ryan Williams, I know that he's changed his number and he's changed his name or added to his name. What's he looking like? Because I've seen some videos, I've seen some clips, and he's looking like he's no longer trying to catch tennis balls on the sideline. He's actually catching footballs this year.
Yeah, Ryan Coleman Williams there, 251 native, same area that I grew up in. So, he's a guy that I've been kind of keeping track of for a while there. I covered him in high school down there in Saraland. But he's gotten faster, it seems like, and he's also gotten a little bit more muscular, right? He looks like he's filled out his frame. When you reclassify, it's a lot on your body for a 17-year-old to go through an SEC schedule like he did 2 seasons ago. So I wasn't necessarily surprised by the sophomore slump. Maybe expected him to still be a little bit better than he was, but he's put in the work. He had a monstrous first scrimmage a couple of weeks ago, had 3 touchdowns in that first scrimmage, and then the last scrimmage he was a little quieter, but that's because Noah Rogers was having a really good day, the NC State transfer there. So I expect Ryan Coleman Williams to return closer to what you saw that freshman season.
Well, that's going to be a big help because obviously losing Jeremy Bernard and some of the other guys that contributed last year. Who's the other wide receiver that we should really be looking for? Because I know the names of them, but I'd rather you tell us so that the listeners can know from an insider exactly who's going to be legitimately 1 or number 2 in this wide receiver corps.
I think if you had to play a game tomorrow, I think your top 3 receivers are Ryan Coleman Williams, Noah Rogers, the NC State transfer, is wearing number 5, and then Latsier Brooks, the hero of that playoff game in Norman, Oklahoma. He and Ty Simpson kind of got the spark rolling there for Alabama. Now, he has switched his number. He was 17 last year. He's in number 3 this year. So if you see a number 3 running around on offense for Alabama, it's Lottie Brooks, and that's one of the guys that I expect to have a really, really big year for Alabama. He's been a slot weapon for this offense here in spring practice, and his frame, his skill set kind of fits that. It may have just been because he was wearing 17 last year, but a lot of what I was told is that, hey, he's reminding a lot of people who have been in Tuscaloosa for a while, he's reminding them of Jalen Waddle, that shiftiness, that kind of ability to create space to go make plays with his legs. And so I would say Lottie Brooks is the one guy that you expect him to have a really big year for Alabama.
Everybody in every college football town, whatever, they want to know one thing and one thing only. All the fans want to know who's going to be QB1. We've got a lot of quarterback battles going on in the SEC, and Alabama has definitely got one with Austin Mack and Keelan Russell. With those two guys, obviously they bring different stuff, different things to the table, but is it an open competition, and who do you give the lead? If you had to start today, who would you give the lead to with these two guys?
So it is an open competition. Keelan Russell, obviously the big 5-star out of Duncanville, Texas there. He has been electric, but maybe a little bit up and down. Remember, I talked about the consistency there. Keelan Russell, the way it was described to me is he can take that dagger and he can drive it through your heart, or he may miss the heart entirely. It's a little bit up and down with Keelan Russell right now, but when he's hitting on all cylinders, it's a beautiful thing to watch there. But Austin Mack's been a little bit more consistent in spring ball, getting the offense up and down the field more consistently. So I think, if you have to play tomorrow, I think it's Austin Mack. However, I do think, Keelan Russell has gotten much more consistent even from the start of spring ball. So if you, extrapolate this over the course of summer workouts, 7-on-7, and then fall camp, I still think Keelan Russell ends up winning this starting job, but obviously, he's got to continue to grow and develop and kind of reach that trajectory that he's been going on, and Austin Mack's got to do a good job of holding him off, because it's very, very difficult to hold off a 5-star electric talent like Keelan Russell.
Is Austin Mack, I know he's 6'6", is he more of like the pocket passer? Is he more like a Trevor Lawrence, or what type of quarterback is he?
I actually really like that Trevor Lawrence comp, because Trevor Lawrence, yes, he was a guy that stood in the pocket, but Clemson used him in a variety of different ways with his legs.
Yeah.
And so Austin Mack, I think, has a similar skill set. He's able to tower over that offensive line and see over the heads of the offensive linemen, which is something that, can be a really big benefit to a quarterback there. But he does have some wiggle to him as well. You saw him kind of get outside of the pocket and make a couple of plays in that Rose Bowl loss to Indiana. So, but I think in terms of I think he's more of the pocket passer archetype than Keelan Russell is.
And see, I think, too, when I've talked to the Florida guys, I'm talking to you now about Alabama having these quarterback competitions, it seems like they both lean the same way. The person that can be more efficient, the person that can run the offense, that has the grasp of it. You've got two guys in Russell and Jones, who plays for Florida, that both of those guys are electric. They can make explosive plays, but can they learn the playbook? Can they be consistent? Can they consistently do the things that you need to do, which is with Alabama, with Florida, with all these other teams, is get the ball to your to your players, and that's the biggest thing. So let's talk about the schedule for just a second. Honestly, for this year, to me, it seems like Alabama's schedule it favors the Tide a lot. You don't really know what you're going to get with South Carolina. You're thinking that, obviously opening it up with East Carolina and Kentucky, you kind of know what to expect there a little bit. Then you go with Florida State. I would think that, Florida State's probably not going to be, Katie bar the door. I don't think they're going to be that good this year, but it's that fourth game on the schedule with Lenore Sellers and South Carolina, because we've had our troubles with them. And so what do you think about those first 4 games in the schedule, Wyatt?
I think this schedule's set up kind of perfectly for Alabama, right? You get the easy home opener against East Carolina. Everyone's going to be excited for that game, but realistically, no disrespect to the Pirates, you should beat them by about 40 points. So, you're going to be able to install some things. You're going to be able to kind of carry this quarterback battle into the regular season if you want to or if you need to figure out who's a little bit better between Austin and Keelan Russell. And then that Week 2 matchup against Kentucky is an interesting one because on the road in the SEC, it's always really, really tough. Kroger Field's a weird place to play. Ask Lane Kiffin, ask Steve Sarkisian, ask Kirby Smart. They've all gone to Kroger Field and either lost or came pretty daggum close to losing to Kentucky. Now, that was with Mark Stoops, so you're getting a Kentucky team that's kind of in the same boat, not really, still feeling things out with the new head coach, Will Stein. It could be a trap game, but because of where Kentucky is right now, I still expect Alabama to handle that one, but it's a good road test in the SEC. And then Florida State, they've got that one circled, highlighted, underlined, whatever you need to do to understand, don't lose to Florida State again. They caught you off guard last year. They better not do it again this year. And then you mentioned that South Carolina game. It's two teams that are kind of familiar with each other with the fact that they've played each of the last 2 seasons. This will be the 3rd straight year that Alabama's faced South Carolina. So they know what Lenore Sellers brings. They understand how dangerous he can be. And not just him, right? Nick Harbor in that receiving core, he is an athletic freak. I don't even know how in the world he's playing wide receiver. And yet he's, track star and can get down the field really, really easily. And then on the defensive side of the ball, you got to deal with Dylan Stewart, who has caused headaches for you for the last 2 years. So, but I still think this schedule sets up really favorably for Alabama. The easy home opener, kind of that early season test on the road against maybe a little bit more of a B- or C+ tier squad, the revenge game against Florida State, and then the home game against South Carolina before you really dive into what I consider the tough stretch of the season there on the road in Starkville, and then the 4 games after that.
Yeah, those 4 games: Georgia, Tennessee, Texas A&M, and LSU. Obviously, having Georgia at home, that's going to benefit. At Tennessee is always tough. It's going to be tough. It's going to be, they've got a quarterback a competition going on there too. A&M and LSU as well. I think the Georgia game, and then again, when you look at Georgia, they've got a lot of familiarity coming back, and then they've got Gunnar Stockton coming back. So that one's going to be the tougher one out of the group. You'll already know what LSU's got by the time that game comes. So it could be one of 2 ways. It could be LSU being really good, or LSU not performing, or saying, hey, this is his first year, blah, blah, blah. But A&M is going to be interesting too. That's the one I'm thankful that we have in Tuscaloosa, because, coming out of that Knoxville game, then you'll go to home against A&M, and then you'll obviously have the bye week, and then have LSU in Baton Rouge, which is always tough.
Absolutely, and that Texas A&M game, that's homecoming here in Tuscaloosa, so that's going to be a busy, busy weekend there, coming fresh off that trip to Knoxville, where Alabama's trying to win in Knoxville in front of a fully packed out Neyland Stadium for the first time since 2018. They haven't won in a full Neyland Stadium since 2018. So that's you're going to want to be able to handle that game in Knoxville there, and then turn right around and you're facing a team that on paper should be one of the best in the SEC this season. Returning quarterback, 2 big weapons at receiver in Mario Craver and Ashton Bethel-Roman. Reuben Owens is a phenomenal running back there. And then, oh, by the way, they just so happened to go get your touchdown leader from last season, and Isaiah Horton. They went and pulled him out of the transfer portal, so he's coming back to Tuscaloosa. So is Wilkins Formby. So that Texas A&M game is going to be a lot of fun here in Tuscaloosa. It's going to be a star-studded matchup. And then, as always, we know Alabama, LSU, under the lights in Death Valley. We know what Lane Kiffin's going to be at that point. And LSU is a team that I look at as a team that could play kind of 2 seasons within one. They've got 2 really tough games early in the year at Ole Miss and Texas A&M. And then it gets kind of quiet for the middle portion of the season there. And then in November, obviously, Bama and Texas back-to-back is really tough. And then you end the season at Tennessee and at Arkansas. No disrespect to the Razorbacks, but we're not really focused on them. We're focused on that 3-game stretch of Alabama, Texas, at Tennessee.
You want to talk about focus? I'll tell you right now, Bama better not be looking forward towards Florida State and have it marked off on the calendar. Because somebody like East Carolina, if they play you to like a 13 or 17-point game, I know Bama fans going to be like very disappointed. And you better not start off slow. You can't look past. And I'm not saying the Pirates are all that good, But that's a scrappy team that they mark teams off on their calendar. When they had NC State in the season opener one time, it came down to the last second on a field goal because that team, relentless.
Yeah.
They absolutely are. And so, like I said, you got to take East Carolina seriously, but it is expected to be maybe a little bit easier of a home opener. But, I mean, look, we know Kalen DeBoer has struggled in these new environments. He struggles on the road against some lower quality competition and then new environments. He lost in Norman, Oklahoma 2 years ago. He lost in Tampa 2 seasons ago. And then last year, you go out and you lose in Tallahassee, you lose in Atlanta, and you lose in the Rose Bowl. So unfamiliar environments seem to be kind of this Achilles heel for Alabama, and you've got 2 of them this season in Kroger Field and Starkville over there. So you're going to have to take those games very, very seriously, even though it may be a little bit lesser competition.
Well, that is all true. Wyatt, we appreciate you coming on. We are up against the break, my friend. Wyatt Fulton from the Tide 100.9. We're so glad to have you, man. We will definitely have you back as the season gets kicked off, and then after the A-Day game, we'll get in touch with you and see what is going on, if they maybe anointed a starter or 2. We appreciate it, Wyatt.
Gentlemen, I appreciate y'all for having me. Have a good rest of your day.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. When we come back, we are going to dive into the Atlanta Braves. We got the Tama blog on the line. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents Wrestling Against Cancer 11. Come see Nikita Koloff, women's matches, Cali Man, Nelson Iser, Kelly Clark, and more. Wrestling Against Cancer at Bay Haven Charter Academy, Saturday, April 25th. Front row tickets $20, second row $15. General admission just $12. Kids 5 and under free. Doors open at 5, bell time 6:30. Proceeds go to Pam Clements Medical Expenses.
Full residential and commercial projects from start to finish. Wheelhouse is ready to help. From the moment you have the thought to build to the moment you step through the front door of your finished project, Wheelhouse Consulting and Engineering will walk you through all of your aspirations. Engineering, site plans, live architectural design, construction, 3D rendering, permits, and more. Wheelhouse Consulting and Engineering, 850-896-6597, 850-896-6597, and online at wheelhousedba.com.
Crawfish season is back, and the heat is on at Lone Star Boil House. Lone Star Boil House is where the locals go for delicious, mouth-watering Cajun crawfish, shrimp, buttery red royals, and everything crab. Plus, Lone Star Boil House is now serving liquor. Get crawfish 6 days a week, open to close. To-go crawfish also available at the front bar, and crush the follow on Facebook for frequent food and drink specials. Lone Star Boil House, 320 West 5th Street, downtown Panama City.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Atlanta Braves play here.
It's just a little crush.
3-2 pitch in the air towards the gap in right center field. Sprinting back, Trout over his head. That's over the yellow line and a homer.
And tomorrow night, the Atlanta Braves face the Cleveland Guardians. The Braves send rookie pitcher Hurston Waldrop to the mound, and we'll have live coverage from Truist starting at 6. First pitch, 6:15.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Hi, this is Goga Bitadze of the Orlando Magic, and for big reactions on the Gulf Coast,
there's a new dynasty in the NBA.
It's the Sports Blitz with my boy Paul Wilson on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Thank you very much.
We are live and local right here on this beautiful Thursday in Panama City Beach. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget tomorrow night, the Braves versus the Guardians. First pitch starts at 6:15 right after the show. And don't forget, if you want to be a part of this show, you can be 850-215-6290. You can call in or text in on that line as well. We are excited. We are going to be talking the Atlanta Braves for here in just a moment with Chet from the Tama blog. Chet, how you doing today, my friend?
Doing great.
Man, I'll tell you what. I've got to talk about this. We discussed it a little bit yesterday in my show, and I'm a little bit, with the fight that happened between the Braves and the Angels. I'm still a little bit aggravated. There's always that thing that is an unwritten rule that if they're going to charge the mound, the catcher needs to be more active. And Jonah Heim did not grab Soler. Walt Weiss did, but Jonah did not. And it aggravated me. If you go back and watch the video, you can see Jonah there. He touches him for just a second, but then he kind of just steps away. And that's not what you do as a catcher. He's 30 years old. He's from Buffalo, New York. They're supposed to be tough. They're supposed to be awesome. And he didn't do it. Chet, what do you think about all this?
Yeah, so was looking at I didn't think about it. And in the replay, it was the one thing that was particularly weird about the fight was that 9 times out of 10, when there's a batter charging the mound, it's 2 seconds after the pitch. It's like the pitch comes in, goes high and inside, and the batter goes like, all right, we're done, we're fighting. Where for this was such a weird one because like it was just like it was like a dead ball, like people are talking. Heim was looking at the dugout, I think, to be like, are we replaying this? And then even on the broadcast, it was like, oh, okay, we're fighting. Like we're, what was funny about the fight to me was that like once they got out there, they looked like 1930s boxers that were like, circling each other and stuff like that. Heim, if he did, I didn't quite notice it. That he kind of took the lesser, route, and Walt Weiss kind of did the job for him, and dove headlong and kind of ended things. And so, what your backup catcher, what you lack for in grit from your backup catcher, you made up for with your manager.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, I blew the lid a little bit yesterday. I called for him to be traded, cut, released, whatever, because he's batting .09 anyway, or .090, yeah. So he's not doing a lot on that side of the thing. And I just don't think Sean Murphy. I don't think Drake Baldwin, even though he's a young guy, I believe he would have probably stepped in, because if he would have just stepped in, in front of Soler, I get it that it was a pause, but he could have stopped this a little bit and maybe allowed when the benches cleared to kind of make sure there was enough people out there to kind of cool it down. But either way, both players get 7-game suspensions. With that being said, we'll move on past it. What do you think about this year's Braves? They're starting out really hot. Matt Olson's hitting the ball. Definitely Drake Baldwin is smacking the baseball. And our pitching, for even all of the injuries that we have coming into this year, they're actually not doing bad.
That's exactly it. You want a spring training to, get the outcomes don't matter, and you just want a healthy spring training. We got the opposite of that.
Yeah.
We got, the spring training crown or whatever, who cares? But it was also, okay, but, the guys look pretty good. And, 7 players on your 26-man roster go down. I think all of us were bracing for impact. On top of that, call it the Brian Snitker era that is now the Walt Weiss era, but the Braves have always been slow starters. So we're kind of we're literally just get me through April. You kind of just go as long as we kind of can minimize the injuries and stuff like that. It's been really nice. The whole staff has looked great. The bullpen's fantastic, and we haven't even really used them yet. There hasn't been a 5-4 in the 6th inning game where you go all right, we need the bridge and everything like that. It's the Lopez, Elder, Holmes have all given you what you want out of them, and then you got a good bullpen behind them. Literally, the only thing is that sometimes the offense is giving you 17, 8-9 runs, and then sometimes they're still having their little 1-2 run games. And those are the ones that we've lost so far.
With Olson and Albies and Baldwin really leading the group, especially in home runs, should there be any concern that Austin Riley hasn't homered yet and neither has Ronald Acuna?
Overall, no. I think that if you take those one at a time, Riley, over the course of, the season, always gets his numbers.
he is that type of guy that like can get them all in a couple weeks. He's also, man, over the course of the last 4 or 5 years, he's had some 3-week periods where like you don't want to see that guy. And Riley is one of those guys who is not like a freak athlete or anything like that. You can really see him processing at the plate. You can really see him. He works really hard. He works with chipper and just and so like when he's a little off, he can get really off. With Ronald is a freak athlete. Ronald is, and so when he is right and seeing the ball, you literally can't stop him. And truth be told, and I'm not going to presume this until I hear something or anything like that, typically when Ronald's not hitting, there's like something bothering him. Like typically there's like a little ankle or knee or, hopefully not a knee. But, so that's the hope, and that's kind of where, especially right now when he's not hitting, this is kind of where Walt Weiss might cash that in, all that he said about, like, hey, let's get some guys off their feet a little bit. Ronald's going to hate it. I will say, Ronald still impacts the game.
Oh, yeah,
like,
for sure.
I haven't been watching and been like, oh, Ronald's the problem right now. He still gets on. He still, like, puts pressure on the pitcher, and he plays great defense in right field. But, yeah, there's definitely a lot to be desired from them.
But, those two guys, they could, just like you said in the beginning about Riley, Acuna is the same way. They could both just, get hot for a weekend, series or whatever, and the Braves would be the talk of the town. Let me ask you this. As far as the shortstop, Mauricio Dubon, is that surprising? Because a lot of people are so surprised. I mean, he's leading, the team in the batting average category. And, I mean, that's just something that has been missing from the Braves, for the last few years at least. And he's just been the biggest surprise to me for this team because I'm just like, wow, where did he come from? How did he do this? And I like it. Keep going.
Yeah, surprise isn't necessarily just in the sense that it's been if we get to, if you get to the All-Star break and it's like, oh, he's still hitting 300, he's got 10 home runs already, like I would be surprised at that. I was thinking about it, that I don't think that there's quite as big of a gap between Dubon and Ha-Seong Kim as we might act like.
Yeah.
Even if you just look at their stat sheets, Ha-Seong Kim, is a 240 career hitter. He hits 14, 15 home runs. He plays good defense. Dubon is a slap hitter who I think his career high was like 7, 8 home runs. He's a better defender. Like he's a really good defender. And so you kind of, I don't know. I will say it doesn't. If healthy, Ha-Seong Kim's going to be the starter. You paid him $20 million.
Yeah.
But Dubon is definitely making his case to say, hey, when Yastrzemski's not playing great, put me in left. If Ronald needs a day, put me in right. I like having Dubon in there, and he seems to have a really good attitude about fitting whatever role we need him to fit. And right now, that's the starting shortstop, and he's having a good couple weeks.
Yeah, and I'm excited about it. It's early, but you know what? I was here last year. And we were not saying anything good at the end of the year. Obviously they had some, Michael Harris was hitting the ball and all of that. So I'm excited about it. We got about a minute left. I just wanted to ask you, are we looking at possibly a star being born right here with Drake Baldwin? Because this guy is already, to me, looking the part. When they don't make him go behind the plate and he sits in that DH role, he's looking really good. I know we got about 30 seconds left.
It's all good. He absolutely, he looks like such a complete hitter.
Yeah.
You remember in 2021 when Riley, it was that you get to the All-Star break and you're like, wait a second, this is not a hot start. This is he looks ahead of the pitcher. He looks like he's ready to take advantage of anything, and he's racking up stats quickly. So I'm really excited about Drake Baldwin.
Well, thank you so much, Chet. We'll touch base back with you as the season prolongs. We appreciate you coming on. Chet with Tama Blog right here with the Sports Blitz. Thank you so much, my friend. That's it for us today. We will see you tomorrow. We're excited. Have a great night, everybody.
Atlanta Braves baseball is back.
Swing and a drive. That's hammered deep right. He jumped on one and hits a homer.
We're your exclusive radio home for the Atlanta Braves.
At the wall. It is gone. A grand slam for Acuna.
Hear every exciting home run, every strikeout, and every thrilling victory on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.